Hello and welcome to Campus Stories. I'm your host, Joe Garris, and today we will be talking with Nick Bazzelli, SCJ President and Editor-in-Chief of RMU Century Media. Our other guest today is Valerie Howard, Dean of the School of Nursing and Health Sciences. First, let's talk to Nick. Nick recently won the Arthur H. Barlow Award for the Collegiate Journalist of the Year. We have some footage of Nick being informed, so first let's take a look at that.
We have some important news to pass along to the small but nevertheless involved and interested crowd that has arrived. I received a letter in the mail earlier today, and it says it is from Arthur Barlow, who, if memory serves me correctly, is the former, meaning retired, director of the Society for Collegiate Journalists National Program. It says, "Greetings. I am very pleased to inform you that Nick Bazzelli is this year's recipient of the SCJ Student Journalist of the Year Award. In short, his leadership on the student paper, his scholarship, the recognition by the Pittsburgh Newspaper Guild, and his commitment to community service indicates the student journalist SCJ is proud to congratulate and recognize." It says, "Congratulations, Arthur Barlow."
Thank you, Arthur
Nick
Barlow.
Bazzelli.
Well, thank you for being here with us, Nick. So tell us, what were some of the things that were going through your head when you found out you'd won?
I mean, more than anything, it was just a feeling of shock. I didn't even know I was nominated for the award until I walked in that room. Carrie actually called me a couple hours before and said, "Hey, stop by the newsroom." And I kind of thought I was in trouble because I'm a pessimist, and I kind of think like that all the time. So I walked in, and Anthony Moretti was there, and they're like, "Oh, you won SCJ Journalist of the Year." And my jaw kind of dropped just because I didn't even know what was going on.
Well, what are some of the things that come along with the award?
SCJ has a biannual convention, and it's actually being held October 3rd in Bethany, West Virginia. And you get to attend the conference, and you get a plaque with your name on it, which I'm really excited about, as well as a $500 scholarship.
And you're talking a lot about SCJ. You are the president of our campus's SCJ. What are some of the things that go along with SCJ, and what's it to be the president?
More than anything for SCJ, we're just a service-based organization centered around journalism. It's kind of like what would be a service-based philanthropy where we try to raise money for specific charities. We've been working a lot with the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank in the past through our Balancing Out Hunger campaign, as well as the SCJ car show we just held last Saturday. And so we try to promote journalism as well, but also just raise money and help the community. And being president of that is just something really important to me. It was a goal I set when I came here 4 years ago, and the organization was still pretty new then. And I just said to myself, hey, you know, by my senior year, I have some great ideas for this organization. I just really want to take charge.
And what are some of the ideas that you want to institute with the organization?
More than anything, I think in the past, no one on campus really knew who we were. We were founded in 2009, and whenever I got here in 2011, even though we were 2 years old, we had about 8 members. I think I was the 9th. So that's something I just wanted to try and spread the word and get us well known. And we kind of, through our Balancing Out Hunger, in which we asked students with leftover meal plan money to donate to the food bank, we're kind of getting some notoriety on campus for that. But just also, people don't really know what we are, what we do. And one of my goals was to kind of set a service-based project where we could continue it every year and have something that everyone on campus can recognize us by it.
What are some of your plans you have for this year?
Like I talked about earlier, we just held the SCJ first annual car cruise last Saturday, raised around $400 for the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank. We are continuing Balancing Out Hunger, both in the fall and spring semester, as well as we just want to help our members get their 30 service hours, because that's something that community service is kind of like the foundation of our organization. And that's something that I really want to have most, if not all, of our members achieve their 30 hours by the end of this year.
I know earlier you said something about it being a society for collegiate journalists, but is it specifically for journalism majors?
You don't have to be a journalism major. The only requirement is to work on or have experience with a publication, radio station, newspaper, TV station, anything like that. We're open to all majors. We have a computer informations major. We've had business majors in the past, so most of the majors are communication and media arts, but it's really open to anyone who has a passion for the field of journalism and just wants to learn more about it.
Mm. You talked earlier about the Balancing Out Hunger, I believe it was. What are some details about that organization and that charity?
The program was started in 2010 by, I forget his name, Ryan Schaefer is who it was. He kind of started it for his comm seminar class, just as a service project, and SCJ was a sponsor, and it was like the first year of SCJ, and they got behind this and kind of backed it every year. So what it is usually it will start in the fall around mid-November, and in the spring around April, and we put up signs in the cafeteria just to ask students who have excess meal money on their plan just to donate it to a good cause. And instead of buying bulk cases of water, Gatorade, food, or whatever, you can really help. That money goes a long way to really help feeding the people in and around Pittsburgh.
Okay, we'll be right back with more from Nick after this break.
These boys are my heroes. They come every week to spend time with my children.
At Robert Morris University, every student is expected to reach out to others.
They can teach them something no one else can.
Wisconsin.
They're role models to the children, and homework comes way before sports. Their grades have improved, and their lives are just a bit richer.
Okay.
What they do for my kids is truly wonderful.
Change someone's life. It changes yours forever. Robert Morris University.
I call them my lifeline.
People don't realize how quickly you can end up on the street. One thing happens in your life, medical bills you can't pay, you lose your job, and that's it.
At Robert Morris University, every student is expected to reach out to others.
We went to DC to work with the homeless. They sell a newspaper called Street Sense. Thought I'd help.
But if you want to give more, you can.
This person came up to me and said, "Get a job." And for 2 hours, I felt what it was like to be homeless.
Good morning. $1 help.
Some of the other students said, "How can we change this?" And I said, "Sometimes you can't change the world, but you may be able to change one person's world." My dream? Open a psych clinic for people on the street.
Change someone's life. It changes yours forever. Robert Morris University.
Welcome back to Campus Stories. Still with me is Nicholas Bazzelli. You're also editor-in-chief for the Century Media, Nick. What is Century Media?
Century Media is composed of the Century, which is obviously RMU's student-run campus newspaper, as well as RMU Radio and RMU TV. And we're kind of like a joint partnership with Converged Media, where we'll all three work on stories together and kind of piggyback off one another. And say like the Century's writing a story, it could also be turned into a package for RMU TV, vice versa. Basically just things like that. It's more of a co-op with all three media outlets on campus.
And you spoke about Converged Media. How does that work all together, and what exactly does that entail with everyone?
Like I said, Converged Media is just having your traditional, like your print as well as your broadcast with radio and TV, having them all work together. And it basically works here as in we'll just all help each other out on things. My freshman year, we weren't converged. The newspaper had its own room. RMU TV kids had their other room, and we were basically separate. We didn't talk to each other. So we actually looked at Kent State University has a really great journalism program, and we looked at some of the stuff they were doing. And then my sophomore year is when we instituted the Converged Media Room, which is Patrick Henry 100. And it's just really nice because all the different people, no matter if you're radio, TV, print, you can all work together in that room and just kind of also hang out and help each other with stories. And it helps, I feel like it helps make every part of media on RMU the best it can be, just because there's so many ideas floating around and it generates a lot more story ideas that way.
And how would you say just converging all of the media together has improved the program?
I think it's improved the program, just one, because that's where the industry is heading. I feel like in today's world, you can't just specialize in one. You have to know how to do all three, whether you can be better in one, say you're more of a broadcaster, but you still need to know how to write not only in broadcast form, but long feature articles as well. So I think it's helping the program, and a lot of what I've noticed in classes is that the professors are kind of directing you to do all three, which can only help in the long run, because whenever you get your resume and you go out to look for a job, if you don't know how to do one thing, you might be passed up. So, and I think that's something here at RMU, they don't really want you to get passed up over a job, so it's something they're pushing, which I feel like it's only for the better, because it's the way the field will be in the future.
Okay, thank you for your time, Nick. We will be back after the break with Valerie Howard, the Dean of the School of Nursing and Health Sciences.
We were there to bring nursing care to some desperate people.
At Robert Morris University, every student is expected to reach out to others.
The very first person that I met was David. Kept saying, "You have to come to my house and watch me play my trumpet." You could tell from the look on his face that it was just his most prized possession. I get back home. A few weeks later, I got a message that a gang had broken into his house at night and they stole it, which was his life. So next trip back, we gave him a new one. The look on his face was just complete disbelief. He just absolutely couldn't believe it. And to be able to do something like that is one of the best moments of my life. He said he'd never forget us.
Change someone's life. It changes yours forever. Robert Morris University.
These boys are my heroes. They come every week to spend time with my children.
At Robert Morris University, every student is expected to reach out to others.
They can teach them something no one else can.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
They're role models to the children, and homework comes way before sports. Their grades have improved, and their lives are just a bit richer.
Okay.
What they do for my kids is truly wonderful.
Change someone's life. It changes yours forever. Robert Morris University.
I call them my lifeline.
Welcome back to Campus Stories. Here with me now is Valerie Howard, the Dean of the School of Nursing and Health Sciences. Valerie, it's been a pretty big week for the School of Nursing and Health Sciences. You guys recently broke ground for the new nursing building. What are some of the feelings behind that, and what are some of the hopes with that?
Well, I tell you, Joe, over the past 10 years, and that's really how long the School of Nursing and Health Sciences has been in existence, we've experienced tremendous growth, going from 18 students to nearly 800 in 10 years. So the excitement about having a new building, a new space so that we can continue to offer our high-quality programs, attract the best and brightest students, along with the best and brightest faculty. It's really hard to explain how excited, how enthusiastic, how inspired we are for the future.
And with the building, before the building was really broke ground for, the School of Nursing and Health Sciences really spread out across campus.
Sure.
What are some of the ideas behind what will happen with the rooms where it was? Is everything going to be in the new Nursing and Health Science building?
Sure. So our new building is going to house the School of Nursing and Health Sciences, but also the RISE Center. And the RISE Center stands for Regional Research and Innovation in Simulation Education Center. So along with this center, which is going to serve not only the students of the university, but also serve as a community resource for training and healthcare, first aid, CPR experiences for the community. This is going to put us all in one place. So a place for all of us to collaborate, not only as faculty, but faculty with students, students with our community members, with the healthcare leaders, the healthcare professionals who are working today. This is going to provide that opportunity for us to all be in one space. Right now we are scattered, so we're in John Jay, we have some faculty in Hale, we have Benjamin Rush, we have nursing and health sciences. And so what will happen with that space is that the space in John Jay will then be occupied by the School of Engineering, Math, and Science, which also is a rapidly growing school at Robert Morris University.
And what exactly would this mean for the students who are in the School of Nursing and Health Science to finally have their own home on campus?
Well, I hope that they're as excited as we are, and I think they will be. Right now we're quite crowded in the space that we have. So our current RISE Center is a very compact area. We do have some high fidelity rooms where we do some simulation training, but it's very, very crowded. So it will be nice, and I've talked to the students. They seem to be just as enthusiastic as we are about the future. I know that it's going to be a whirlwind year as the building is built, and we plan really to move in over next summer and be ready to start classes next fall 2015. So I think they're going to be excited, and then to have a new space where they can actually practice their experiences in the RISE Center, but also classroom areas, a computer lab, faculty offices, meeting spaces. It's really going to be an exciting year.
You also spoke earlier about how it's going to affect the community with community involvement, more CPR. Mm-hmm. What are some of the backers in the community that are helping out with this?
Right, so right now we have wonderful relationships with many of the healthcare organizations in the Pittsburgh area. We have relationships with the Allegheny Health Network, UPMC, Heritage Valley Health System, St. Clair Hospital. All of those facilities, we have students in their facilities for clinical. We've also offered some simulation training not only in the RISE Center, but we've taken our simulation training out on the road. We've also taken our mannequins into 20 long-term care facilities in the community area. So we're very proud, and that's one of the things I'm most proud of, is because of our faculty, because of our students and our growing reputation, is that we have these wonderful community partners who are supporting us now into the future.
That sounds wonderful. How should other students on campus feel about the new building? What should they be looking forward to from it?
Well, the building will primarily house the School of Nursing and Health Sciences. What that means for the rest of the university is, though, that there will be additional space so that classes, the classroom problem now with having many, many classes and always trying to look for additional space on campus will hopefully be resolved. We will also have, though, a very nice cafe and a student learning and area on the bottom floor of the building so that students will be able to come, they'll be able to study, they'll be able to meet, grab a cup of coffee, and that will be open to the entire university.
And going back to the building itself, are there any plans to make it more energy efficient, possibly making it a green building?
I do believe that that is in the works, and I know that we originally designed that building to be a green building, LEED certified. I know that the architects and the construction company, they're working together now, and I'm not quite sure where that's going, but we definitely have the environment in mind.
Okay, with the whole process of the building, are there any worries of delays that could potentially set back the whole move-in process?
Well, I think building a building in Pittsburgh throughout the winter, I think there's a concern for all of us that the weather might be a factor. However, what I'm told is that, with the rapid construction that they're doing right now, the hope is to get it under roof as soon as possible. And once that happens, we should be right on target. And RMU has a great history of getting these buildings up and open right on schedule.
And that is very important, because with the winter coming, we don't want any setbacks to that.
We do not want setbacks, and we plan to open, as I said, for the fall semester 2015. So things have to be up and ready to go, and I'm quite confident that that will happen.
And what else do you think that the building of the new building means for the growth of RMU as a campus and as a family?
Well, I think that this will then give each school, the 5 schools at Robert Morris University, their own home. And to me, if you look at the rapid growth of RMU in general, going from a business school now to having 5 different schools, it's a comprehensive university. This will only just solidify and make sure that that reputation for excellence really continues. And giving each school their own home really allows faculty to work together with students, to collaborate, to talk about the next big ideas that might be going on, and we're excited about that.
Well, I believe I speak for everyone when everyone is excited for this as well. We'll be right back with more after this break.
G-morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me. Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you. JK. Holla back, holla back, holla back. Are you with your friends? That's lame. We're in a huge fight right now. XO. What'd you dream about? Something I did. Are you on your way to the mall? I'm lonely. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
I'm starving. What's for breakfast?
Guten Tag!
Johannes, Ross!
I bring you arts-enriched Raisinblums, fortified with increased test scores and creative problem-solving skills.
It's good!
And good for you. Bobby? Susie? Don't worry, that's just the power of the art!
Feed your kids the arts. For 10 simple ways to learn how, visit AmericansForTheArts.org.
You ever think about buying a bigger place? Just waiting for a visit from the credit fairy. There is no credit fairy. How else will I get a better credit score? Look, you keep your credit card balances low and only open a new card if you really need it. No fairy?
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there's help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org.
Yes, ready, ready. Go get it.
Oh, come on, Randy. Animal shelter, here I come. And no, I'm not crazy or emotionally damaged. That's a stereotype. I just belong to a total loser. I'm a good dog. So if you want a pet, adopt. And if you see Randy, tell him he dropped his wallet.
Welcome back to Campus Stories. Prior to the break, we were talking about the new school for nursing and health science. But going to you, you worked in the field of nursing for how long?
Well, nearly 30 years. I'm in my 28th year as being a nurse. I started out at Presbyterian Hospital in the ICU, and then I was an ER nurse for about 15 years. I started teaching in 1996 at the University of Pittsburgh, and then I got my master's and doctoral degree from the University of Pittsburgh as well. And I've been in education really since '96, either on a part-time or full-time basis. I always had a passion for teaching, and so even as a nurse, I really enjoyed teaching my patients, the families, and mentoring and coaching new nurses that were coming along. So for me, teaching was a very likely career move.
And how do you feel your experiences as a nurse helped translate into teaching at colleges?
Well, being a nurse, it is definitely a profession, and a profession is governed by their standards. And if you talk about the profession of nursing being one of the most respected, one of the most highly ethical and moral profession, as perceived by the public, that to me, having those standards, being held to those standards, not only as a nurse, but then as an educator, to me that was a likely transition. Caring for a patient, having that compassion and empathy for what they're trying to go through and helping them on the road to recovery, to me, really mimics teaching as well. You know, we care about our students, we're empathetic about our students, yet we try to help them through the learning process, which is a journey as well.
And how do you feel that your students benefit from your personal experience?
I think I always enjoy telling stories in the classroom and really bringing that personal experience into the classroom. Prior to becoming the dean, I was the director of our RISE Center, which is simulated learning experiences. So it's using mannequins and actors to recreate the environment of the healthcare setting. And the only way to recreate that is to bring your experience in and really create those scenarios that mimic the real life setting in healthcare so that the students can have the benefit of practicing in that environment before they go out into the healthcare setting. So you have to have that experience and you must bring that in the educational process. So I was able to do that in the classroom and also in the Sim Center as well.
And how do you think students going out and getting internships, how do you think that experience helps them overall?
Well, nursing is a practice profession as well as nuclear medicine technology, so that's the other undergraduate major that we offer. With that being said, they have clinical experiences from the junior year on in the healthcare setting. So you can't teach those professions in a classroom and then have them graduate and say, okay, be a nurse or a nuclear medicine technologist. So we start that very early. We've just started some shadowing experiences in the freshman year as well. So students are able to go into those clinical settings and really get a feel for, oh, is nursing for me or is nuclear medicine technology for me? Is this profession in healthcare for me, so that they can make those decisions early. So we have to have that practice, and our students start that very early.
Building off of that, you talk about how learning if nursing is for the student. What would you say to possibly someone who's a freshman that's undeclared, maybe considering nursing? What would you say would be some of the benefits of considering it?
Well, you will have a job. So the job market is very good for nurses. There will always be sick people. They will always need health care. So nursing and nuclear medicine technology, these are practice professions. If you enjoy working with people, if you enjoy really having, it really is a privilege to enter a patient's room during some of the very worst times of their life. To have that privilege, and if you are interested in being a part of somebody's life when it really could be a very happy time, say perhaps with delivering a baby, or it could be a very difficult time as well. If you enjoy that, if you enjoy working with people and really helping them on the road to recovery, then I would say it's for you.
Going back to your own personal experience, you worked for 28, you've been working as a nurse for 28 years, you said. How do you feel that experience has helped shape your life as well, though?
Well, once a nurse, always a nurse. So I still, even though I'm in the educational setting now and I'm in an administrative position, you still get those phone calls. You know, a neighbor calls, a family member calls, what do I do? You know, I think perhaps my child broke their arm. You're always a nurse. You're always on call. We are always looking out for the best for the people, for our students, for anyone. We're constantly scanning the environment and making sure that everyone is functioning well.
So going back with that, what would you say to students who are considering it, but what would they have to be aware of knowing that going into the field, if they're going to consider it, what they'd have to take seriously? Absolutely.
It's more than just about caring and compassion. It is a science-based profession. So you must have that science. You have to have the ability to perform well in anatomy and physiology, pathophysiology, microbiology. That is the basis for everything that we do in nursing and health sciences. So it is an art and it is a science, but you can't forget it is a very rigorous program. We hold our students to a higher standard because, as I mentioned, going into patients' rooms, we must make sure that our students are well prepared to safely take care of that patient. So we can't forget that as well. We also have shadowing experiences. Intro to Hospital Environment is one of the courses that we offer. If you're interested in going into the healthcare profession, that might be a course that you would take, and then you do an observational experience in a hospital, just to see if it's a fit for you. So it's a great first step to take.
Okay. Well, that's all the time we have, Valerie. Thank you so very much for coming on.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for joining us this week on Campus Stories, and please come back next week.